What's up? Welcome back to Beyond the Stage Box Office Interviews. I'm Andrew Eisler, and today I have the Prophets. Hey, thank you for coming.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Hey, appreciate you so much. So I just jump right into it. You've played at Madison Live. Yeah. Played some awesome shows. I've seen them in person, been there, felt the energy, felt what you bring to the stage. We're gonna take things off the stage. Beyond the stage is the point. And I love doing these interviews because you really get to know the artist on a different level, and that is entirely what we're trying to do. So first off, what is your experience at Madison Theater and Madison Live with the staff, the energy here, everything that goes along with venues such as Madison Theater and all its historic significance?
I love Madison. I love Madison Theater. I love Madison Live, bro. It's really like the HQ. You know, I've had 3 of my hometown shows here in a row, and there's a reason for it. You know, it's great to have people that not only communicate but care about what they're doing. They care about the artists. They care about the production. They care about all of these things that actually go into making a great show. So that's why I really, enjoy having a place, especially in Covington, Northern Kentucky, real close to Cincy, that, I can call home and I can come here once or twice a year and, really celebrate with all the people that are, in the city, so.
Yeah, definitely. And you are local Kentucky native, right?
Kentucky, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I am as well, Kentucky boy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I feel like having that Kentucky connection and like also cross over to the Cincinnati side, which if anyone's aware that there is a line, to Kentucky and Cincinnati on like a fan base front almost, because a lot of people have, uncertainty about traveling for shows, in the current climate with how the pandemic was and how everything has kind of sorted out. So do you feel that things have changed for you since when you first started to now with how fans have come out to shows and the types of fans you're seeing out and your fan engagement? How's that been?
Honestly, it just kind of grows every year, but I think I don't treat people like fans, you know what I mean? Like, these people are supporters. These people, take the time out of their day to listen to my music. And that's something that, like, I couldn't ask for at the end of the day, So, like, I really try to build a relationship with them, I communicate with them when I can, I reply to DMs, I reply to comments. I try to make sure that they know that I appreciate their support. But, like, as far as music and growing goes, that's also something that's just kind of happened congruently. I actually was just talking to a fan the other day who drove 3 hours to be at the last hometown show from Michigan.
Wow.
So yeah, it's like the fact that people are doing things like that to see me live is something that you couldn't, ask for. That's, a beautiful blessing, bro. So I'm appreciative of all the people and all the supporters. It's great to, see people in like real life versus talking to them on the phone. Sure. And that's kind of like my favorite part of all of this. So,
I mean, that's a really good point. Seeing them on the, in person and getting their energy and how they're like taking in what you're bringing to the table. Everyone's connection to music is so different. People take it so many different ways, whether it's, recalling memories from the past that your song might bring up to the surface, or just how they connect with you through social media and everything like that. Because like we talked a little off camera, like how social media, a lot of things have gone to reels and the formats that were taken in social media. I'm sure it's definitely affected you in making music videos. Yeah. How do you think that's affected you in general?
Man, I think music videos, it's funny because I grew up off of music videos. I literally used to like get home from school and watch MTV Jams for like hours, and it would just be 24/7 music videos. But like the music industry that I watch and the music industry that I participate in are 2 different industries, and unfortunately music videos and longer form content as an independent artist aren't necessarily the best route you can go unless you really do like believe in it or have a vision in it, or you think that you can like really make something occur from that. But as much as most people hate it, Reels and TikTok and short form content that you can film on your phone has made it more accessible for the daily artist, you know. And although it like sucks to have to film yourself and feel, I guess, unnatural, it's an easy way to get your music out to people, and it's a cheap way to get your music out to people. And if you do it consistently enough and you build your music and work on your art and craft enough, something will happen off of it eventually. So I think it's also like, as much as we hate it, it's the other side of the coin. Is one of the best things that's, you know, that can happen to the daily artist. So
I totally agree. I think the amount of content and the type of content we're taking in as, you know, content creators, as we're taking it in and we're doing our own thing, I think that new age way of thinking really makes it so we can be more intentional when we're putting out our art. So we can be intentional and we can be like, hey, we know they're going to consume the art this way. And I think it's great for us as artists. Everyone in this room that are part of Beyond the Stage, we're all artists. We're trying to bring something to the people and other artists as well, so they can get an idea of what happens, you know, beyond the stage. And with that being said, so I did see one of your music videos when I was, you know, checking out your stuff. You got that UK coat on in bluegrass. Yeah, so
starter jacket.
Wildcats fan?
Bro, it's I'm not gonna lie. I'm low-key, high-key an Ohio State fan.
Are you? Okay.
But I couldn't pass on it, and being from Kentucky, bro, seeing that starter jacket, it was just so gas.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I got it from like literally a vintage shop in OTR. I don't even remember which one, but I got it from there, and we shot that video just by spending the day in Kentucky. We drove from Northern Kentucky to Louisville, and then went from Louisville to Lexington, and then drove back up. And you know, like, that's really what we did for the entire video. So I was like, bro, I bought the jacket and we dipped out. So
that's awesome. It's a nice jacket. I had one when I was little too. I love that UK starter jacket. I was gonna say, because our Kentucky Wildcat basketball team is doing great this year. So it's pretty amazing. Yeah.
UK's always been great. My entire life they've been great. So you know what I mean? Since I've been like, I guess, a spectator or a participant in sports, UK's kind of been like the pinnacle, especially for hoop. So
for sure. Grew up a UK fan myself. There's Hope and Pope now. We got so that's pretty exciting for the bluegrass state. But I do want to shift a little bit on what do you like to eat when you're on tour, man? Like, if you're traveling, any place that you want to go and get some food that you kind of like seek out.
Man, I try to, when I'm in different places, I try to eat things that I won't be able to get back home.
Okay.
Right? So like, if I'm not really like a picky eater, and I'm really kind of into trying anything when it comes to, you know, like food. So I'll go anywhere, you know, I'll whoever I'm traveling with, I'll get their suggestion. Okay. We'll figure out what we want to do, and, you know, we'll go there. I don't really have anything in particular that I like seek out, but I try to get things that I won't be able to get back in Cincinnati or Northern Kentucky.
So when you are back in Northern Kentucky, what do you like to eat? What's your go-to favorite dish if you're gonna just...
Bro, these days I like to cook a lot more, because it's just like, I'm trying to eat healthier, and plus it's like a better bang for my buck. But if I'm not gonna lie, I can eat Chipotle like 7 days out of the week, bro. I could, especially they brought the brisket back, and it goes so crazy. Yeah, I could eat Chipotle any day of the week. But nah, bro, I like to cook like chicken and potatoes. That's like my go-to, bro. And I kind of just store it and eat it throughout the week. So.
That's because I like Chipotle as well, so I'm here for it. I cook as well, so I'm here making food. I have a daughter, Charlie, and I try to cook at home for her, so she gets home cooked meals and stuff like that. Yeah, man. You know, dad life. We're here for it. You know. So, do you have a favorite sport?
Oh wow. Yeah, it's definitely basketball.
Hoops?
Yeah, okay. I love hoop. Yeah. Unfortunately, I was just like built to play football, so that's like what I did. But I've always loved hoop, and I didn't get like good at hoop until after I was done being able to like play it competitively. So like, it's just how it goes. But yeah, I love hoop, bro. I still hoop to this day. So
that's awesome. Yeah. Hoop's mine as well. Basketball's my favorite, always been. Growing up in Kentucky, like we talked about, like basketball, you know, is always the talk of the town here. You know, Ohio definitely has that football, you know, powerhouse with Ohio State and whatnot, but Kentucky, it's basketball. You know, it's basketball country. Yeah.
Kentucky's a basketball state for sure. I remember having an AAU coach, and like he was from like somewhere south, bro. But we lost this AAU game. We lost by like 22 or something. And he started chewing us out, bro. He was like, I came all the way up here because they said Kentucky had the best basketball players in the country. They said Kentucky was the basketball state, da-da-da-da-da. And it was just kind of crazy because I was like, I don't know, I kind of slept on it as a kid. Granted, I wasn't actually like good enough to be like a part of it, but I slept on, you know, Kentucky hoop culture and how much it mattered to the state when I was playing in it. So
yeah, I mean, it's really like what brings everyone here together. I mean, I'm not sure how many people in Kentucky that you kind of like roll with, whatever, but a lot of people I roll with, there's always like a basketball hoop or UK apparel or something on people's houses outside. I mean, they're very it's very apparent that basketball is priority here, and I love it. You know, I grew up playing, and it's definitely something that helped me as I was younger and trying to make my way. Because when I discovered music, it kind of took a back seat, and then I started playing bass and singing and doing all that, and then basketball didn't have as much time, and I joined the wrestling team and kind of went that direction. Yeah,
wrestling's wild. I could never.
Yeah,
it's you had to like cut weight.
I did cut a little weight, yeah.
A little weight? Like, what is it, like 12 pounds?
Probably more than that.
A little weight. Bro, cut like 20 pounds in 24 hours?
I wouldn't condone it, not now. As looking back, you know, hindsight's 20/20. But yeah, man, definitely put your time in. But it also, there's a lot of benefits I learned there. A lot of resiliency, a lot of things that helped me with music, discipline. Yeah. I am a disciplined individual. I definitely know my limits, and I know how to push myself and know, you know, where that line is. Yeah. So wrestling really taught me a lot of things about myself, and I kind of translated it to everything.
I think that's the beauty of sports. I think sports just kind of imitate life. I think all things really imitate life at the end of the day. But like sports just teach you a lot of lessons, because a lot of people, I don't think you'll ever be in a situation in like the modern world where you have to like compete or get like aggressive or dig deep or push yourself to a limit physically, because like we don't have to like go out here and fight our food, you know what I mean? Like we can just like, I can just go buy something.
Yeah, but go to Chipotle.
Yeah, literally, that's what I do. But like no, I think sports, it shows you your limits, and it kind of shows you how you can push past them, and then it's easy to translate that to real life, because you know, after you get done with sports, you have all of this like mental resiliency that you need to use somewhere. So
yeah, I would say, I mean, being on the wrestling team and growing up in that lane, I don't think anything's as hard as that to this day. So I'll be real, like nothing has been as difficult as being on the wrestling team in high school of all times, when you're, you know, 13, 14 years old till 17, 18, nothing's as hard as competing against someone else that's trying to take you down. It's like a whole thing. And then the mental game, and then practice is more difficult than the actual competition, you know, because they prepare you for the actual matches. But
yeah, bro, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do the fighting, because any sport that involves combat, I'm cool on, because I like to take breaks in my sports, and I can't take a break if we're fighting because I'm knocked out. So yeah, I'm cool on that.
I understand. It wasn't the easiest, but like I said, it prepared me for the world outside of, you know, just, you know, music even. It prepared me to like any situation. I'm not fearful. I'm confident in my abilities, you know what I mean, to protect myself if I have to for whatever reason. Not that anything like that happens, but on tour and music and stuff, you never know what's gonna come your way out on the road. And speaking of being out on the road, you did a little bit of touring. You've done your fair share of seeing the world, you know, and that's pretty cool. Congratulations on music. That is an awesome feat.
Yeah, it feels good to, you know, get out into other cities and see fans in real life, like we talked about. You know, the fact that we're doing shows in like LA and people are screaming the songs word for word is like, you know, that's a blessing. Yeah, it's gas. It's really gas. But no, bro, I love it. I love being on road. I love being in new cities. I just like to see like, you know, different places. That's like my bag right now. I really enjoy that, and that's probably my favorite part of doing music at the moment, is like being in different places and connecting with people that you know, support what we're doing.
Absolutely. And what is probably your favorite place that you've gotten to visit through music?
That's so tough.
Yeah. top two, if you top three, if you have.
Oh, top three, no order. I would say places I've done like shows or places I've just like been to.
I think been to because you've experienced it, but something with the show as well would be cool.
Probably top three places that I've done shows, no order, would be Chicago, LA, and Detroit. We did 1 year on tour. We did a show in Detroit at the basement, which is where they shot 8 Mile. So it was like, yeah, it was pretty gas. And the audience in there were like, they were just so like into it, bro. I love an engaged audience. You know what I mean? Because then you're just able to feed energy off of each other.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's awesome. Detroit. Was not expecting that. Chicago surprised me as well.
I love Chicago.
Yeah, me too.
Chicago's like the queen of the Midwest. That's what they, I guess. But like, it's like what, 4.5 hours away, you know?
It's close, not too far, but it's close, but it's far enough away to really get that, get that touring experience, getting that outreach.
I love a drive too. So like there was one time we did a show in Miami and they like messed up the flight situation. So me and my DJ were just like, bro, we got to get back home. So we just like extended the rental and drove the 15 back from Miami. That was the one that changed my life because like now there's no drive that's too long. Where we drove to Dallas for the first show in Texas, and that was like said it was 14, ended up being like 16, and that didn't feel like anything. You know what I mean? But it's just fun, bro. It's fun being on the road and seeing things and like driving through these states and just being able to do what you love somewhere else.
Right. That's so cool. And it's cool to be able to connect with people that are across the country and you've never physically met them and they're coming out to support you on, through the power of music, which is, so powerful. It changes people. It really can turn someone's whole life around. I've had people I've met at my store. I have a store, Native on the Levee in Newport, and people will come in because we do a live podcast on 1 or 2 days of the week, depending on, but between the podcasts, people come in and ask about the podcast. And they come in, they're like, man, I'm a musician. I'm really trying to turn things around. And the podcast, how do I get on? I want to talk about my music and how it's changed my life. And I hear so many times people talking about how it changed their life. And after a while, it goes from, a once in a hearsay, whatever, to like every third musician that comes in that says, it changed my life. Yeah. And that's powerful when I'm talking to these strangers that are just asking me about the podcast at a store, in Newport, Kentucky, of all places. But it changes people and it puts them on whether it's the right path or something that fits better for them, And a lot of times people don't understand maybe that's close to them, but they're like, hey, despite all the things, I'm still here playing music, and it's kept me, whether it's people say it's kept them alive to that degree, people say it's changed their, friendships, relationships, it's built things that they never thought possible. Perspectives, yeah.
I think it just comes with chasing your passion, dog. Like I think one thing that's big for me, right, no matter what it is, I think you should chase your passion. Because you obviously have that drive and draw towards that thing for a reason.
Yeah.
And I think you should chase it. And I'm not saying or guaranteeing that it'll work. That like if your passion is like painting, I'm not saying you're gonna be like, the next Warhol or Basquiat or something, but like along the way of chasing that passion, you'll find exactly where you're supposed to be. And I think that's the beauty of it, I'm just, lucky enough that it's music, and music has shown me growth personally. And, I've just been able to take the time and try to grow the art. And by growing the art, I've had to grow the individual, that's kind of what artist development is. It's just personal development.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Yeah.
So
understanding yourself within and then being able to relay that out.
Yeah. Just being comfortable with who you are, Because nobody's gonna be able to do anything the way that you do it. Even if you're doing the same thing as someone, they won't be able to do it the same way you do it. And I think you should take pride in that as an individual, bro. Because I don't even know what the global population is, but the fact that you're a person in the world out of all the sperm cells and eggs.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
You're
absolutely.
Yeah. You're not gonna exist ever again. And so do the things you do the way that you can, and that's how you get to leave your mark. So
That's amazing. Really well put, man. That was definitely something that someone's going to take from that and run with it, because I think there's a lot of people out there that are afraid to be their true selves and do what they truly want. And I know that at the same time, we as people that are doing what we love, you know, I think if you can, you should, and outreach and let them know that this is real life and it is your life, and you should take hold of what you're passionate about. And no one's going to do it as good as you, like you just said. You know, they really aren't, because you're in the room, you're making it happen. Those people are in there for your energy. And like at a show, when those people are coming for you, they're bringing, you're collecting energy, you're giving energy. Everyone's just, the whole room is just, it's a really, the vibe is just all about the connection.
Yeah.
And the walls can be different with every show, or the same with every show, with a different show. And then
music in its essence, bro, is just collaborative. So like whether it's the creation or the performance of it, you know, it's a transfer of energy, like you said, bro. Like, so, you know, you have people in the room that are waiting for a performance, and you're in the room on the stage hoping that you get some engagement. Yeah. And that's, you know, that's the trade you guys decide to make during a show. So
yeah, and speaking of that, before we wrap up here, 2 more questions. Do you have any message to your support, your friends, your family, your fans? We talked about fans earlier. Anybody that supports your music going forward, any message to them that you'd like to get out there for future music or future endeavors?
Oh man, I really just want to say thank you. I guess looking in this camera, but yeah, I want to say thank you. You know, you guys literally make what I do possible. So thank you for supporting me. Thank you for being along for the journey. Thank you for being patient and letting me grow as an artist, and also, you know, supporting the things that I do on the way. So I just want to let you know we have new music coming out. In December there will be an EP, and then January 2025 we're coming in crazy. So if you don't hear the new music, just know that I'll see you next year. And I appreciate y'all.
All right. And before we go, appreciate that. That's awesome. And I'm sure they will appreciate it, because everyone wants to hear the insight, because everyone wants to look forward to something, because there's so much good music coming out, and there's so many talented artists, and you're one of them. And I love to see it, man. I love to see it. Yeah, for sure. Before we get out of here, I have one last question. Growing up when you were young, doing your thing at the beginning, when you first started doing the music thing, who was your music positive influence? Not artist, but like family, friend, music teacher. Who is that positive influence?
Wow, that's crazy. I don't remember his last name, but I had a drum teacher named Eric, and he was in a band. And I remember him, like, he used to, like, his pocket was so smooth. And I would take drum lessons, bro, and we would literally go in like this room at Work Music in Erlanger, and like 30-minute sessions, and we would just kind of like play, you know what I mean? Yeah. And like I remember, like, there's something about hearing someone be good at like what they do that like just kind of blows my mind. And like, so I'm listening to him play the drums, and I'm just sitting there like cheesing with like the biggest grin on my face, because it was just like so sick to me. But yeah, bro, I think he was really one of my first influences in music, because I started playing drums in like 1st grade. So yeah, definitely Eric, bro. Okay. I don't know his last name, and if he sees this, he sees this. If he doesn't, at least I, you know, gave him his congrats.
That's what I love this. Love to hear, man. That's what I want to know, because you never know who gave that start to give you that motivation from the beginning.
Yeah, bro. I mean, you know, I just get inspired by everybody, bro. Like, the supporters, the haters, the people that are along the way, they all inspire me in some way, shape, or form, whether I know it internally or not. You know, I think everybody leaves their mark, and they all have their influence. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you so much, man.
For sure.
Dude. Beyond the Stage, this is E the Prophet, and appreciate you all for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. I'm Andrew Eisler, and we out. Thank you.